Hi, I'm Johnny from UltimatePaperMache.com, and yesterday I made some elephant skin for my paper mache elephant. About 4 years ago I made this paper mache elephant pattern, and as soon as I got the pattern done I gave my elephant away to a charity auction, which was fun, but then I didn't have one. And I always intended to make myself another one, and I decided now that especially since the giraffe just got done, it just seems like I needed an elephant right on that spot. So I moved a few things around. It's going to go back there. And when I was doing it, I did it the same way that I did when I first showed you the pattern. Gosh, I think it was like 4 or 5 years ago. But I had forgotten, since I hadn't done this one for so long, I'd forgotten how much fun it is just putting it together. I had to read my own instructions because I forgot how to do it, but it actually works. The ears are a little complicated, but not that bad. And then after I had put on a first layer of paper mache clay, just like I did before, and then I put on some skin with some bumpy paper towels, just so I can get some wrinkles on there and some bumps and a little bit of texture. And I was thinking, what if it had those cracks in it that elephant skin has? Even little baby elephants have cracked skins, and it's really strong texture. Now maybe I could just push it just a little bit further and make it more elephanter, you know. So I went online and I found this stuff. It's called Deco Art Media Crackle Glaze. By the time I got around to this stuff, I had already painted her gray. And I didn't want to paint it over again, and so I didn't want to buy the white paint, which is evidently the only color of crackle paint you can get, because that just wasn't going to work. So I got the clear stuff, which then, if you want the cracks to show, you have to cover it with something that falls into the cracks. And in order to do that, I used my golden glazing liquid mixed with acrylic paint. This is 4 ounces. I used about 2/3 of it. So let me just show you how it was done. It's really easy. So if you're going with either elephant or rhinoceros skin, I can't think of any other animals. Maybe a tortoise shell, that would be cool, or an old dinosaur egg. Ooh, that'd be really nice with this. So I read the directions first off, and it said you need to put it on fairly thick. You don't want to over brush it, because that could make it not crackle at all. And you also want to let it dry on its own. You don't want to use any heat on it at all. So I put it on, like it told me to, very thick. And by the time I was working on the second ear, I could tell that the first ear had already started to crackle. It really was working. Now what I did next, after I let it dry completely, I mixed up burnt umber and some ultramarine blue to make a fairly dark brown. And I mixed it with a lot of the acrylic glazing liquid. I'll just jump in here real quick and tell you what the purpose of the glazing liquid is, because it might not be too obvious if you haven't used it. The biggest reason that I use it is because it stops the acrylic paint from drying almost immediately. You know how fast acrylic paint dries. So if you're covering up something this big, by the time you get back to certain parts and you're coming up against the dried edges and you put more paint over it, you're going to have that line. And it's almost impossible to blend them in properly if you don't have something that will slow down the drying time, and that's what this is for. I also used a lot of this because it is really good for making it transparent as a glaze. So I brushed it over there and made sure that it actually would go into all the cracks, which it did really well, and I pulled it off of the top with the dry paper towel. It seemed to work really well when I was doing it, but then when I started looking at it later, I was thinking it's just not quite right. I was using a really dark color in the cracks on a light colored skin. So I decided to go back over it with another glaze after the first one was totally dry. So I did that, and I went over it again with a very light color, this time with, again, very, very little paint, with the glazing liquids, and I'm much happier with it. But I think I would have liked it a whole lot better if I didn't have those two competing textures of the, I'm going to try to find a spot here. Okay, here's a spot I'm going to show you up close. This is the paper towel, the little bumps and dips of the paper towel, and then you've got the crackle here. and I just think it's a little bit too much. I like the crackle and I like the paper towel, but I'm not sure that I like them both, if that makes any sense. Let me know what you think. Do you think it was worth all the trouble of doing it and ordering 12 bucks worth of product to do it with? I had a lot of fun experimenting with it, and if I did another rhinoceros, I would definitely do it. I think that would be perfect for a rhino skin, but I wouldn't use the paper towels underneath it. And I've already varnished her. I used a DuraClear Soft Touch varnish. I really love that stuff. And so it's almost done. The only thing left is to put on her eyelashes. Oh, and to put some fingernail polish on her eyes, and then the eyelashes. The eyelashes I ordered. I live in a very small town, and there's no eyelash store here. So she's just gonna have to wait. As soon as she's done, and I get my nail holes fixed up, she'll go up there next to the giraffe. If you like this video, be sure to subscribe to the channel. Go check out all the other videos that I've got showing you how to do paper mache stuff, and then come and visit me, ultimatepapermache.com. I'll see you there.